we're all going to kind of learn what we're doing here, and each other month you have a chance to come back and do it again. So why don't you come on up, and I'm going to get out of your way, and you can talk, and when you're done, we'll go on from there.
When I asked Dan how long do we have, he said about 10 minutes. I thought that was 10 minutes for all of us who were able to speak. So we're good for this one. No, it's the other way around. So what I do is I'm a mortgage broker, but I came from a background of being an investor for about 9 years. So that is my roots when I work with people. And then I moved into doing private lending. And then I was hit by the economy and such of that sort. But it turned out that it was a passion that I ended up with. I had the tenants, I had the Section 8, I had the luxury vacation rental, I did all my promotions, I did the sales, I did all that kind of stuff because I wanted to learn as an investor, you know, what it's like to do real estate. Had a lot of other backgrounds and things, but that was how I got into all of that. I want to make sure whoever I'm working with that you guys are sure that you can afford what your dreams, you know, you can afford your dreams, and now and later on, because I know what it's like to lose the whole thing, you know, and I don't want anybody to have to go through that. And usually the age of investors like ourselves, I don't know, there's a few youngins here, but the rest of us is our age. You know, we don't want to lose our future. We don't want to lose our retirement. We don't want to, you know, we want to be able to afford and enjoy our families, our kids, our grandkids, and all those types of things. So that's one of the things I watch out with people. I do work with private lending. You know, borrowers tend to come out of the wall when it comes to private, and it's harder to find folks who are interested in lending. But I work with folks that way too. My personal choice will continue to be that I will be interested in investing as far as a private lender than as a property owner, at least for a long time. It's much easier. You do have to still do all your things, you know, such as your due diligence and all those things that we know of, you know. What I can say is that it's very important for you to have a professional team around you if you go work with a hard money lender or a private lender. You want to make sure to run it through title, run it through escrow, run it through all those things, all those protections for your best interest and for your borrower's best interest, you know, and for the whole thing. Keep it on the up and up, keep it clean. Work with any of the pitfalls, that kind of stuff. That was my segment of 10 minutes. What kind of questions do you folks have? And anything? Yeah.
How much is hard money?
Hard money right now is ranging. It's a range. They're usually about 9 to 12. You can find people in there. There's some private lenders that are doing lower than that. There's some private lenders definitely higher than that. Generally, when you get on to the outsides of those margins, the ones who are doing it for less than that are the long-term. The lenders who want to hold a note for a long time. So they want to work with somebody who's not doing flipping or not doing that kind of stuff. They want to be able to do for a long haul. They're looking for a good, solid, steady, consistent, you know, that kind of a borrower that's like this.
And how long is a long haul for hard money lending?
It depends on the lender themselves.
What have you seen in your?
Yeah, there's certain laws that fall into the criteria. So if you're a lender and you are loaning on a hard money lender and you are loaning to an owner-occupied property, you're looking at longer, like 5 years type of time because of usury laws and all that kind of stuff. Unless you're doing something that's a transactional, you know, you're just doing it for the initial closing, and then you're going to be moving on to institutional money or letting go of the property. If you're strictly an investor who's looking at doing that, then your transaction can be very, very short. You can just do it at the table there for the transaction. Sometimes, different scenarios why people would do hard money. They may not qualify for the reserves that institutional money requires. They may don't have all the documentation. You know, they stuck their money under their mattress thing, or they had it tied up in some other thing, but they don't have those several months of bank statements and a long time of this and all that. And so they just don't fall inside of the current day very tight margin. to get credit and get that. So often, people will do it for that short period of interim time until they can reposition themselves. Because ultimately, if you're borrowing money, you would want to go with institutional money. I mean, given today's rates, I mean, that's the place to go than doing anything higher. But if that's not an option for you, and you see a good transaction, and you're looking at, how can this expand my portfolio, and how can it cause more income to my household and my family, then that's kind of the cost balance between doing a transaction or not doing a transaction. So those are some of the factors there. Yeah.
What's the return?
It all depends on it depends on how a return works. You look at the costs that it's going to, okay, let me take it one back. You can set up a combination of what the return is going to be, but you have to be within the market demand, or the market will allow. Like some people will come in, they'll say, oh yeah, I want to be getting 18, 20, 25% on lending my money. Well, as you go to a broader margin of wanting to have a return on your investment, you're going to get a smaller and smaller population that's going to want to borrow from you. So you need to look at, there's a term called volume and velocity. You want to look at what are your goals. Is your goals just to get more money? Do you want to make sure that you have good solid borrower? You want to make sure that it's a longer term or shorter term? Do you want to be able to have your money available for you for another transaction perhaps? So to just look at, they tell you don't just look at interest rates, when you're actually selecting a product. So you want to do the same thing as far as in your return on investment. Where is your value? Where is your return? And where's the balance inside of that? Did that answer your question?
No,
Okay, so ask me again.
I'm looking for an actual number for a certain situation. So you set up a situation and then say what the percentage would be for that situation. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, well then you would need to have a specific transaction as far as that, because otherwise it's just left in the what if.
Well, say it's a second trustee on a home for 5 years, and it's $50,000.
Okay, so then if you're as a private, so and you're coming, the question is angled as a lender, or that question is angled as a borrower? Well, maybe as a lender, obviously, because that return on investment. So, sorry, it's, you're thinking that way. You listening? Yeah. So, what you look at is, if you're a lender, and you want to set up a note, and you want to set up with somebody, you're actually the one that's setting up the terms. So if you know that, if you're setting up saying, I have a requirement of 12% return, then you set the price of a 12% return. Right? I'm answering your question. If you're setting it up and you're setting up the terms as a lender, then that's the return that you get. Yes, no? Anything over there?
I guess I have a question. Is that
Sure.
is that a reasonable rate to do that kind of a deal?
18?
Then? So yeah, 18%. Is that too
You're
high?
going to. It is a rate. Reasonable rate. It has to depend on the situation and the borrowers you have. If you want to make sure to get more transactions offered to you, more borrowers to approach you, then you'd be down in the 9 to 12 rate than you would in the 18 rate. The people who tend to have the 18 and larger ones, it may be for a larger amount, that they're lending. It may be for the property or the transaction has a particular timeline that it has to be done inside of. And so the hard money lenders will raise the bar on the cost for the borrower